Hello, hello, curios and weirdos and everything in between. Oh, well, y'all know we are following our friend Dorian Gray, and child, he is in the initial parts of that downward spiral crash out. I'm talking about like plane losing both engines, spiral downward with the big old plume at the end. I'm talking about a crash out, like, I don't know, like Adrian Broner and Dean the Great Child. We talking crazy. Okay. We on and this the beginning parts of it. Okay. So do y'all even want to hear this foolishness? Scott, you want to hear about a downward spiral crash out?
Yes.
With our featuring our boy, starring our boy Dorian Gray.
Yes.
Okay, well,
That's what we're tuned in for.
absolutely. Well, guys, welcome to the Curio Storyteller, where we take books from yesterday and we visit them like old friends. We do a little cosplay, like some D-list actresses and actors. And then we, discuss what the hell is going on in this story, how it made us feel, what we would change, what we wouldn't change, those kind of things. Like catching up with an old friend or, us having a weirdo book club, whatever. And the book today that we're going to explore is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And I'm going to give you a little quick recap of what we've been going through that got us to the downward spiral crash out. Let's put Oreo Jr. back there. Okay, Dorian Gray got his picture done. He's 20, he's young, he's fine, he's hot in these streets. Got a picture done. Got jealous of the picture, especially when he met the homie, his crash out partner, Lord Henry. He made a deal, made a pact with the devil, and baby, every sin, every age, everything goes to that picture, and it allows him to do whatever he wants. He decided to get engaged to a woman. Neither one of them knew each other's name. Okay, he decided he saw her in a play, he hated it, and therefore he hated her. So he got rid of her. She unalives herself. And now he's making the decision to just crash out, baby. He's making the decision to crash out. So let's see how this goes.
Okay.
The next day, Basil came to see Dorian. He wanted to offer his sympathies about Sybil's unaliving. He also wanted to ask his friend if he would let him exhibit his portrait in the Paris gallery. Dorian was eating lunch when Basil was shown into the room. I read of Sybil in the late edition of the Globe. I picked up at my club. I came here at once, said Basil. I can't tell you how sorry I am. I know you must feel terrible. Did you go and see the girl's mother? Of course not, said Dorian Gray as he sipped yellow wine from a Venetian glass and looked bored. I was at the opera. This that started that downward spiral I'm talking about right here. Let's keep going. You went to the opera, exclaimed Basil, shocked at Dorian's callous behavior. You went to the opera while Sybil Vane lays unalived. Stop talking about it, cried Dorian.
Yeah.
What is past is past.
Can't change it.
You called yesterday the past, right? Right, like, sir. Anyway, asked his horrified friend, Dorian, this is horrible. Something has changed you completely. You talk as if you have no heart, no pity. It's all Harry's bad influence. I don't know how many times I told y'all to mark this, clock it, do whatever, but keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on Harry. Keep y'all see the eyes back there. They looking at Harry, child. They trying to see what he up to because this man got a problem. But let's keep going with this story. Dorian brushed away Basil's words with a wave of his hand. I don't want to be at the mercy of my emotions. A man who is master of himself can end a sorrow as easily as he can invent a pleasure. Okay. You say that when you're in the hospital and you need somebody to help you out, sir. I want you to draw me a picture of Sybil, Basil. I would like to have something to remember her by. Remember, I told y'all the clock, that part about any man who couldn't love Sybil was a monster. What do y'all think? Y'all think this man a monster or no? Y'all think this fool heartless or no? Because remember, he was popping off. He's like, any man who can't love Sybil, he trash. And now this man talking about I don't love Sybil. Y'all think he heartless? Y'all think he a monster or no? Anyway, I would like to have something to remember her by. All right, agreed Basil. If it would please you, but you must do something for me. Please come to my studio and sit for another portrait. I can never sit for you again, Basil. It's impossible, Dorian swore angrily. Mhm. The painter stared at him. Don't be ridiculous. Don't you like the painting I did for you? Basil asked. Why have you pulled the screen in front of it? Yeah, why you hiding it? Dorian, why you hiding your picture? It is the best picture I've ever done. It is disgraceful of you to hide my work away. The light was too strong for the portrait, Dorian hastily explained. Too strong? Surely not. It's a great place to hang it. Let me see it. Basil walked towards the corner of the room. Okay, here we go. A cry of terror. Okay, look at this man. Look at how desperate he is. He like, no, get away from that picture. Okay. A cry of terror broke from Dorian Gray's lips, and he rushed towards the painter and the screen. You must not look at it. He acting like the Kardashians when they pictures ain't been photoshopped. Like, sir, we know your pictures don't look the way you look in real life, sir. We know. We ain't stupid. Why shouldn't I look at it? Asked Basil, laughing. If you try to look at it, Basil, on my word of honor, I will never speak to you again. I'm very serious. Basil was thunderstruck and looked at Dorian with absolute amazement. He had never seen him like this before. Maybe he on drugs. Dorian was actually pale with rage. How you get pale with, I thought you would turn red with rage. How you get pale with rage? That's weird, but okay. His hands were clenched and he was shaking all over. Okay, sir, you might be on drugs. I won't look at it if you don't want me to, he said coldly, turning on his heels and going towards the window. But really, it's strange I'm not allowed to see my own work, especially as I'm going to exhibit it in Paris in the fall. Okay, girl, he just want to go show his pay. No, he proud. Proud, like one of them kids that come home, with their little pictures. Like, mommy, put this on the refrigerator. He proud. To exhibit it? You want to exhibit it? Exclaimed Dorian, a great sense of fear creeping over him. Was the world going to be shown his secret? What secret you hiding, sir? What's wrong with the painting? Why should you object? Asked Basil. If you keep it behind a screen, you must not like it much. Dorian Gray passed his hand over his forehead. He like, yeah, sir, you got caught lying. You got caught out there, sir. You got caught lying. Dorian Gray passed. Oh, wait. There were beads of sweat there. He felt that he was on the brink of a terrible danger. You couldn't have forgotten that you assured me that you wouldn't exhibit the painting, cried Dorian. Then he remembered that Lord Henry had said it once, half jokingly, that he should ask Basil why he should not exhibit Dorian's painting before. Basil, he said, looking at his friend in the eye. Let me look y'all in the eye, but then look down so I can read. What was your reason for refusing to exhibit my picture before now? The painter shuddered in spite of himself. Dorian, if I told you, you would laugh at me. If you don't want me to see your picture, I won't ask again. Your friendship is more important to me than the painting. It probably shouldn't be, sir, because this man crazy. But whatever. Here we go. No, Basil, you must tell me, insisted Dorian. I have a right to know. He was determined to find out Basil's mystery. Sit down, Dorian, said the painter, looking troubled. And just ask me or answer me one question. Have you noticed something curious in the painting? Did something strike you at first, but was later revealed to you? Basil! Screamed Dorian. Sorry, I scared myself. Screamed Dorian, clenching the arms of his chair and staring at him with wild eyes. I think this man is doing. He on something. He on something. Cause you real serious about this painting, sir. I see you did. Don't speak, replied Basil. Your personality had the most extraordinary influence over me. One day, a fatal day, I think I decided to paint a portrait of you as you are. Whether it was the realism of the method or the wonder of your personality, something happened. I feel like this is how some of them 70s PORNs started. Like, what is going on here? Why is everybody so like drawn to person? Like, what is going on? This is weird. Just saying. Anyway. I worked very hard and it was a great success. But I had too much of myself into I had put too much of myself into it. My praise for you was too great. So I decided not to allow the picture to be exhibited. Okay. Basil continued. It is amazing to me, Dorian, that you should have seen this in the portrait. I saw something, the young man answered slowly. Something that seemed curious. Well, then, said Basil, relieved, you won't mind now if I exhibit the work. No, sir. Never, growled Dorian. Basil decided not to argue with his friend and agreed to his odd request. It's your decision and I respect it, Dorian. Goodbye for now. You have been the one person in my life who has really influenced my art clearly. Sir, I feel like this was going to turn into some bound chicka bow wow, the way you was talking to him. Okay? So clearly you're inspired. Basil picked up his hat and coat and turned to his friend. You will sit for me again? He asked. Impossible. Because I feel you like me a lot. I'm kidding. He didn't say that last part. Impossible, Dorian said. I can't explain it to you, Basil, but I must never sit for you again. There is something fatal about a portrait. It has a life of its own. He bid Basil goodbye and closed the door. Suddenly, Dorian Gray smiled at himself. He had succeeded in fooling his friend. Sir, but did you really fool him? Okay? Did you really fool this man? Okay? He know you crazy. Anyway. Basil would never learn the truth about the awful portrait. Still, he grew worried. The portrait must be hidden away at all costs. He could not run the risk of discovery again. The day after Sybil's unaliving of herself, Dorian decided to hide his torture painting. Okay, we're going to hide the crime. We're going to hide the bodies. What if someone else saw it? What would they think? He ordered his servant to take the painting to the third floor of his townhouse and store it in his old playroom. His trusted servant was given strict orders. No one was allowed to enter the room. Only Dorian had the key to unlock its thick wooden door. There, he thought, his dreadful secret would be safe from the world. Sir, just take your unphotoshopped picture out and let the world see how you look. Learn your angles. As the door closed, Dorian put the key in his pocket and looked at the room he would house his secret. His eyes fell on a large 17th century purple satin cover his grandfather had found in a convent in Italy. You think wrapping it in a shroud of Turin gonna save you from all your crimes, sir? That's what you think? Okay, and it's stolen from a sir. Anyway, let me get back to the. I'm sorry. Let me get back to the story. Yes, that will serve to wrap the dreadful painting. It had often wrapped the unalived. Is anybody else picking up the irony in this man wrapping his painting, his evil, crime-riddled, disgusting, dusty painting up in a purple satin sheet from a church? Y'all picking up the irony over there? Now, it would hide something that had a corruption of its own, worse than the corruption of unaliving, something that would breed horrors but would never unalive. Girl's a vampire. He turned, locked the door, and went downstairs to his sitting room. He picked up the St. James Gazette. The newspaper was full of reports of Sybil's unaliving. Fortunately for Dorian, y'all clock this. Clock this selfishness. Check this out. Okay. Fortunately for Dorian, his name was never mentioned. Relieved that he had avoided any bad publicity, Dorian was once more determined to think only of his own pleasure in the future. Okay. It was just after 5 o'clock when the doorbell rang. A messenger had a package from Lord Henry. To cheer Dorian up, Lord Henry had sent a little yellow book. It was the strangest book Dorian had ever read in his whole life. Oh, wow, y'all. Guess what it was about, y'all? Y'all take a guess what this book was about, Scott. What do you think this book was about? Coming from Lord Henry, though.
I don't know.
Don't worry, I'm about to tell y'all. It chronicled all the sins of the world. Okay, girl, ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. The novel had no plot and only one character. A young Parisian man who spent his life trying to realize in the 19th centuries all the passions of every century before his own. What the hell does that entail, I wonder?
I don't know.
It was a book of evil.
Scary.
So, y'all, we gonna pause. Let me pause for the cause real quick, because this is crazy. Y'all know them memes or remember them old cartoons, whatever comes to mind here, of like a character with a little devil and a little angel on their shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to feel like, now this is just me, y'all tell me what y'all think, but I'm starting to feel like Lord Henry might be the little devil on the shoulder. Because why every time this man makes bad choices, Lord Henry involved? Why?
Yeah, just a bit of an instigator.
Okay. Just troubling the youth. But anyway, I'm only a little bit convinced. Let's keep going. Maybe I'm judging this man wrong. Let's see. Let us see. But Dorian was so fascinated that he could not stop reading. Okay, he part of the plot too. For years to come, Dorian Gray would never free himself from the influences of this evil book. He never even tried. Instead, he ordered no less than 9 large paper copies of the first edition from Paris. Okay, he down for the get down. He down for the get down. He like, evil. breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He had them bound in different colors so they might suit his moods. The hero, a young Parisian, in whom the romantic and scientific temperaments blended, very much resembled Dorian Gray. The character was so much like him that this strange novel seemed to contain the story of his life even before he had lived it. Okay, he died. Never mind. It ain't just Lord Henry. The good looks that had been captured in Basil's painting of Dorian captivated others as well. I don't check about wow. Even those who heard the most evil things about Dorian Gray could not believe them. He didn't look evil at all. Instead, he had the look of someone who kept himself pure. Got that good halo effect going for him. It's in his favor.
Yeah.
Period. Yet Dorian began to live the life written about in Lord Henry's book. It was so easy. He was rich. His handsome features captivated everyone who met him. He knew joy and cruelty. He could have whatever he wanted. Strange tales began circulating around London about him. He still looked pure, but was he? Dorian would disappear on long, mysterious absences. I told y'all he on drugs. Afterwards, he would creep upstairs to the locked room and stand in front of the portrait that Basil had painted. There, he would look at the evil, ugly face on the canvas. He grew more and more taken with his own looks and more interested in the corruption of his own soul. So I got these two faces. No one knew where he went. No one knew about the sword room in the nasty tavern near the docks. Traveling in disguise and under an assumed name, Dorian Gray would frequent this awful place. I wonder what he was doing over there. Now to the boom boom room. All the sins he had read about in a little yellow book became real to him. With wild abandon, Dorian Gray fed his mad hunger for adventure and destruction. He indulged his every mood, every whim, every want. He mined the deep mysteries of all the senses. Told y'all we're going to turn into a 1970s PORN. I told y'all. At the same time, Dorian was known as the man about town. He was famous for dressing well. He was rich and indulged his every whim. He began to collect musical instruments, expensive jewels, okay, and beautiful works of art, okay, period. He had a house in London and a huge estate in the country. He spent his money recklessly. But all these treasures, everything he collected, were just a means of escape. Hanging on the walls of the lonely locked room where he had spent his childhood, he hung the terrible portrait whose constantly changing features showed him the real degradation of his life. Okay, you degenerate, sir.
Yeah.
Your portrait is showing that you are degenerate, but you like, I don't care, I'm rich, I'm cute.
Yeah.
Period. Would y'all do it? Would y'all, like, if y'all had a portrait that took all y'all consequences from y'all, would y'all run amok? Would you, Scott?
Of course not.
I wouldn't do it because I'd be too scared to look at that picture, child. Anyway, let me get back to this story. He had draped the purple and gold Italian curtain over it to hide it from view. For weeks, he would not go to the locked room and he'd forget the hideous painted thing. For a time, he would enjoy light-hearted and joyous existence. Then suddenly, at night, he would creep out of the house and go to the dreadful places near the Blue Gate Fields and stay day after day until he was driven away. Okay, they said, sir, you are get your degenerate, rich, handsome self, sir. Ooh. a mess. On his return, he would sit in front of the picture, sometimes hating it and himself. After a few years, he could not bear to part from the painting for long periods of time. Why, look at it. Look, let me show y'all what it looked like. He over here looking like crazy. Okay, he need a little photoshopping. He gave up the villa he shared with Lord Henry, which was probably a good idea because that man is bad business, y'all, in Italy, and the little white house in Algiers, where they would spend the winter. Dorian Gray worried about the painting that was now such a part of his life. What if it was stolen? Nobody's stealing ugly paintings, sir. You can be assured. You can rest assured, sir. Nobody wants your ugly painting. Or what if, while he was away, someone gained access to the room in spite of the bars and learned his secret?
And what?
Then, sir, I guess you'll be set free from sin. I don't like this man is ridiculous. But anyway, let me keep going.
Like, like someone's gonna see the painting and be like, "You made
This
a
man
deal
to sell your soul to this painting, sir. What? Like, sir, you tripping. Anyway, but let's get back to this story. The very thought terrified him. What if the world already suspected? What if you stop doing all this foolishness for them to stop suspecting you? Start like this man about to make me go off on him. He gonna make me lose my mind up in here. After all, there were people who distrusted him. Of course they did, sir, because you running amok. He was nearly blackballed at the West End Club. Once, when he was brought by a friend into the London club, the Duke of Berwick and other gentlemen got up and left. Why did the Duke of Berwick and the other gentlemen leave, Dorian? What you out here doing? It makes people want to leave up out the cross the street when you walking down the street, sir. What you running amok? By his 25th birthday, wild stories were again circulating. Girl, not into polite society. Uh-oh, it made it up to polite society. Child, what will the neighbors think? All your rich friends know you out here acting a fool, sir. Anyway, it was said that Dorian Gray had been seen fighting with foreign sailors. Oh, that he kept company with thieves and other criminals. Ooh, honey. Ooh, what will the rich neighbors think, baby? You're gonna get put out of polite society. Women who had adored him now shunned him. Respectable men would leave the room if he entered the club. Sir, you have become the stinky kid. Okay, your attitude, your character stinks, is what them people saying when they get up and leave. You're the stinky kid, sir. What had happened to the once innocent boy? Only Dorian Gray knew the answer. He had been poisoned by Lord Henry's book. To him, evil was now beautiful. We gonna end it there, y'all. I'm running amok. I told y'all this man downward spiraling. He listening to Lord Henry. He doing too much. Now all the respectable rich people are like, oh, get away from him. He's crazy. Oh, Lord. Okay, y'all. Y'all know how we end these things. I'm gonna keep the question that I had before. If you could get away with doing anything you wanted while being rich and serving no consequences and not getting old or nothing, would you do it? Y'all put it in the comment section. Scott, you already said no, but I think you were fibbing. So I'm going to skip that question for you and ask you what stood out, who would you talk to, or what did you learn?
I just said don't read the book, don't take the book.
What book, though? How do you know it's not the good book, the Bible?
Could be.
I stumped him. We'll just come back to you.
Okay.
What stood out to me in this story is when he just was like, everybody gonna know my secret, everybody gonna know. That is called a guilty conscience, sir. So it sounds like Dorian Gray got a little guilty conscience because he thinks everybody knows his foolishness. And because he has a guilty conscience, everybody does know his foolishness. I'm going to let y'all sit with that. Think about that. Feel that. Let that sit. Did you have anything else besides what your first inkling was, Scott?
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, guys, we are going to bid you guys adieu. We're going to end it there, but we'll be back tomorrow with more of this man just running amok into a downward spiral and crashing out like the Crashout boys, okay? But Victorian style, okay? So with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with us, because guess what? We enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, live shorts, all that fun stuff, because guess what? This is not just a Scott and I and Oreo Jr. thing. This is a all of us thing. So this is you guys' channel and page. So make sure you check it out and enjoy. So with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are, even if we down on the bad end of town, running amok, acting a fool, scaring the good, high society rich people, to wherever you guys are, peace and love and happiness to you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for It's a Super Scary Saturday Sleepover and more of this man acting a fool, even though he's paid and taking all the consequences, but he running them up. So we'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.
Bye.